Welcome to our Imagination University specials. We are so excited that you are joining us for the show. Together, we will discuss why it's so important to reimagine education and more broadly, the world around us. Now, on the 7th of October this year, after one of the most complex years in human history, with COVID-19 creating at least 68 million additional poverty years and 4.3 million lives lost across 150 countries, we at AIM have launched our new university to fast track human development and growth, to enable a whole ecosystem of change makers to learn from each other, to come together to build a fairer world. Our vision is to make higher order thinking accessible to all, and so we're offering degrees for all humans in some of the most critical skills of our time: imagination, mentoring, and organizing change. Imagination University will open its virtual doors to its first cohort of students from the 1st to the 5th of February 2021 for 5 days of rigorous grounding in philosophy and theory, followed by practical implementation by participants over the next 10 months and their respective fields of specialization. Let's check out the video.
We know what happened in 2020. So let's imagine 2021.
Let's imagine
what a free and just world looks like. Let's imagine
a university free for all,
with no paywalls to higher order thinking for anyone, anywhere.
Let's imagine
A social network for good.
A bridge for us to come together and redesign the way the world works.
Let's imagine what happens when we tell the kids at the back of the class,
We see you.
There is a generation of kids just like you.
Let's imagine school students, university students,
Teachers, executives, citizens.
coming together to work on a curriculum designed for a future that we hope to build. Now, imagine.
It's happening right here. And you're invited.
Welcome to Imagination University, brought to you by AIM, the Imagination Factory.
Applications are open now.
I get chills every time I see that video, but Hi, I'm Maddie Lidord. I'm part of AIM staff here. I'm going to introduce you to my co-host, Brendan Newton, and I'm going to slide sideways over to him. Let's get some answers to our questions. Brendan, over to you.
Here we have it, Maddie. How good's this? Just casually on your Wednesday afternoon in Australia, chatting to 3 different continents and a bunch of change makers here to change the world with us. So our first segment, we'd like to welcome some pretty groovy characters who've signed up for Imagination University. We've got Sensei, otherwise known as Sense, because he makes so much sense. And we've got Samuel Mighty. He's the mighty guy from our African continent of Ghana. And we've also got his buddy and his kind of buddy in crime. We've got Courage. So those guys have got some cool names for us, Courage and Mighty. If we don't get through this segment with a bit of strength, I'll get worried. And then we've got Swanee, who's actually one hell of a groover from South Africa, who's joined the Imagination University to change the world with us with his creativity, imagination, and a bit of puppetry on the side. So let's dig in. Let's get down to the business. What are we doing here? Why is imagination important for us, Swanee?
Well, I think the quote that the video started with was imagination is more important than knowledge, and that's what I think. I teach kids, and imagination helps them to just tackle life. So I just think imagination, and what this university does is, I think, so in sync with what I believe in, and imagination. You know what? Sometimes I go to hospitals and I speak to parents that's getting their first or expecting their first kid, and then what I want them to do is that I want them to teach their children to keep the imagination alive, because I just think that sometimes life is a jump from reality to imagination.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
If we have live imagination, then that's why it's important.
Thanks, Swanee. It's great to have you around, man, and we can't wait to work with you across the schools in South Africa in 2021. And we had a guest actually earlier on in the week in these Imagination TV uni specials that said she's rediscovered imagination and it's kind of propelled her life forward at the age of 44, and is joining the uni to try to sort of infiltrate imagination throughout her continent of the USA. So what are your thoughts on imagination? Let's talk to the gang over at Ghana. You guys have started up a pretty radical foundation to get education to those who haven't had access to daily education in the continent of Africa. Hey, Courage and Mighty, just tell us a story about what you're doing and how you're doing it. I think you're on mute, Captain. Let's get off mute, and there you go.
Is it okay now? Hello.
You got it. Go, Mighty.
All right. Good morning to you all from a part of the world, Ghana, Africa. My name is Samuel Mighty. My co-founder, Courage, is here to join. So I'm the only one here.
Nah,
now.
he's on there. I think your man Courage is on there, if I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, you go for it, and then we'll cross to Courage in a sec.
Very well. Very well. So well. Happy to be here, to be part of this great family, and ready to learn from diverse ways and cultures of doing things right. Anyway, our foundation is basically geared towards changing the narrative. If I say narrative, I mean the way we're doing things, specifically to education. We want to give the less privileged the chance to have access to quality education. That is basically the main drive of we coming together to put something on board. That is the foundation, Tech Hills Foundation.
Cool.
Yeah. So
hey,
basically,
Courage, what do you think? Sorry, brother. Sorry to cut you off. What do you think about that, Courage? How are you going to do this? I mean, the vision's there, but how are we going to sort of make this happen in Ghana and broader Africa?
Well, fantastic. We intend to make things work. And in doing so, we cannot, achieve success alone. We depend on meaningful people, right people, donors, people all over the world coming together to support the idea, making sure we give education to the less privileged, particularly children in rural communities, to have access to quality education. So we prioritizing the whole concept of making sure quality education, SDG Goal 4, is achieved across all board. Having said that, we're making sure that children of school-going age should not be going to farm, as it were in the case of Africa, Ghana. Predominantly, we are farmers and fisher folks along the coastal belt. So we're making sure that children have access to quality education. In our own little way, we empower the teachers, caregivers, to making sure that that aspect of children, instead of going to the classroom, they rather end up on farming lands and chasing animals here and there. So basically, that is the motive or the goal of what we are doing right here in Africa. So,
cool, man. Well, let's do that together. Let's, like you said, bring together all these unlikely alliances. Let's hook in that 1% of the world that owns 50% of the world's wealth, and let's make this happen in 2021 and beyond. Hey, Sensei, what's your story, brother? I know that you bumped into our mate and our resident mystic, Perul, in
Dubai.
The long lost country of Dubai.
Yeah.
Tell us why you're here, mate, and why you're enrolling in Imagination University.
Well, I'm convinced that together we can accomplish more, and the challenges we face as humankind are universal at the moment. That's one basic reason. And I also am a strong advocate for knowledge and wisdom to be accessible for everyone at all time and for free. And together we know more and we can do more and change the world. And I think that imagination is the capacity that is unique for humankind. And that gives us a great responsibility for our own lives, but in fact for all life on Earth. And bundling those forces together and those great initiatives will get us a step forward.
Beauty, Sensei, and may I say that makes complete sense from the Sensei, and I appreciate it, brother. I think, where are you tuning in from at the moment, Sensei?
I'm in the Netherlands at the moment.
So we've got Netherlands, South Africa, and we've got Ghana. Yeah. What a mix! What a beauty we've kicked off the show with. So, I think we've got a similar kind of theme where we want to actually access across borders, across races, across genders, across ages, and if we bring intelligence across those unlikely alliances, I don't know if it's ever been done before at such an eclectic mix. So, I'm excited. Swanee, mate, what do you want to do at the university?
I just think that the university or what they believe in makes an impact in the world. So Ghana and I, Samuel and Courage, we sit here on the border of the world, and everybody forgets about us. And I think via this university we can reach the kids. Here in Africa.
Nice one, man.
So that's what I want to get from the university, is that a tool to get going here in the south of
Thanks,
the world.
brother. Thanks, Swanee. It's been beautiful to meet you over the last couple of months, and I'm looking forward to working together. Hey, Courage, I'm wondering if you're online on this segment, and if you are, brother, there's a pretty special story that's come from your life that's kind of come across my eyes, and I want you to tell a little bit of it in a couple of minutes. Who are you and why do you want to make change, Courage?
All right. As already stipulated, my name is Courage Tekpa, and I am in Ghana, and I happen to be the founder and the CEO of the Hills Foundation. This is a foundation that is basically formed on the principles of love, the principles of reaching out to people in underserved communities, basically the principle of enacting change to bridge the gap, the wide gap that exists between the poor and then the rich. So that's why I have decided to form the Tech Hills Foundation together with my brother Sam Almighty, so as to bring about this change. So we have been working heavily on making sure that some of our services are provided to deprived communities in areas of education, in areas of health, in areas of water and sanitation, developmental programs for youths in deprived communities, agricultural support, and also to take care of our brothers living with disability. That's people with disability because we wanted to be inclusive. We want to include them in our agenda as we try to impact the necessary changes that we desire. So in order to achieve this, we intend to form strategic partnerships with organizations that are willing to come on board with us, not necessarily providing us with money, but also sharing with us knowledge, because we believe in working together. Because in this current dispensation, there is no organization that can achieve its aim alone. So we believe in coming together as a team to help bring about the necessary changes that we desire.
Thanks.
So basically, that's what the Tech Hills Foundation is about. Thank you very much.
No, that's cool, man. And we're right on your team. And let's build some bridges back to Ghana, to Tech Hills Foundation. And yeah, really excited to have you guys on board and your ambition. Let's build some alliances that can fuel your vision all together. Hey, Sensei, you know, what do you bring to the table? You're obviously attending a pretty, you know, a conference for the bigwigs over there in when you met Perul. Tell us about your story and what are you passionate about?
My passion is education. That's the greatest thing I've ever met in my life, and I've been a teacher for a long time, principal, and done a lot of things in the educational sector. And bringing kids a step forward and creating opportunities, that's my core mission.
Beautiful. And what a rich kind of privilege we have to have your intelligence, your experience in the room. And I'm sure not only on this panel, but across the 1,465 applications we've rocked out for the last 2 months for Imagination University. Having someone like you, Courage and Mighty and Swanee in the room, who knows what we can do if we times that by a few hundred. So
you can do a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Hey guys, just really quickly, we'll do a quick wrap around within one sentence. If you had the whole world listening to you right now, what would you say? We'll start out with. Sorry, you go for it, bud.
Yeah, I would say view life always from the perspective of the individual. Every man has entitled a right to happiness, and it's the question how to get there. The mass is not the norm, but the individual is the norm. So everyone should have equal opportunities in the educational system, and we are very far from it at the moment, but always take the individual perspective and not that of the masses.
Thanks, Sensei. Over to you, Courage.
Well, okay, what I just want to say is about kindness, because it costs us nothing to be kind. So that's all I have to say.
Thanks, Courage. Over to your teammate, Mighty. Looks like Mighty might have dropped the call. Hey, Swanee, what are your thoughts, brother?
I brought my friend with Van Gogh.
Oh, look at that deadly little fella. I think he's got something to say, hasn't he?
So this is what I would like to say to the world: is that he's one of my big icons, and he didn't believe in himself, but he never stopped dreaming. So
from South Africa. Thanks for joining us on this panel, gang. And we're going to transition to a short video. This video will rock your socks and will pretty much emulate everything that we've spoken about over the last 15 minutes. And then we're going to transition over to segment 2 on these Imagination TV specials with your host, Maddie.
I only knew you for a while, taking clock to cure away. Every second means a mile. Every minute means a day. I hope you're walking in the sun. Hope you're going to be someone. Here I am. Here I am along my way. I always dreamt that one day I would find you on my way. Maybe one day, maybe today.
That one is such a powerful message. If we want to change the world, we have to change how wow. If it would be powerful if I could put my words in. Doesn't matter. We got the message. It was on screen. We have 3 new panelists coming up. So we have a teacher, a coordinator, and a philanthropist. I'm going to hand it over to them to introduce themselves for just 30 seconds. That's it. You've got 30 seconds to introduce yourself. So we're going to start with Dave. Please introduce yourself and we'll move down the list. If Dave's here.
Yeah.
Dave, you on? Yep.
Yeah,
Hi, man. How you going?
Cool.
That's good.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be part of this movement. Saying my camera on. Anyway, let me check here for a moment.
Yep, you're all good.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm happy to be part of this movement and joining this whole team so we can make this a reality. I know how it is joining the brains. If you have one and you add one, you get 2. If you know, we believe that some brains are more strong than others. So if I join my brain with other people's brains that are already stronger, then we can become the strongest. I'm happy. Yep.
Nice, I like that. If we join our brains together, we can become stronger. Teresia, I think you're next. Please introduce yourself if you're here.
I'm here. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Teresia Gichache. I'm a philanthropist at heart. I think we can all be. I'm about changing the world one person at a time and collectively creating this tribe of looking at the world differently. We're all in this reimagination stage and we want to see the future look brighter and more beautiful. So finding that passion that you like within yourself and going for it. So that's where I'm at with the philanthropy angle. So thank you for having us.
Beautiful. Thanks for being here. I love that. And our last panelist is, now I'm going to butcher this, Nyiradzo.
You got that perfectly. Is my camera on? Can you see me?
Yes, it is. We got you.
Okay, great. Thanks so much. I am super excited about this movement. And I think in particular, the mentorship aspect is just so key because everybody's got hidden talents. And A lot of the times, we're not sort of encouraged. There isn't that fire that, sort of like pushes them up. And so this movement for me is super exciting on that level.
Awesome. Thank you for that quick introduction, everyone. I appreciate it. Now I'm going to fire off some questions. Anyone can jump in at any time for this first couple of minutes. So feel free to jump in when the question just gives you a spark. So my first one to you is, what is imagination? How does it play in your role in what you do? What is imagination to you, and why is it important in what you're doing?
Yeah, thank you very much. Now, for whatsoever idea that we have in the world right now, be beautiful automobiles, be beautiful roads, the person must have first imagined that, can't I stand here in Uganda and send someone a message who is United States? It all began with a spark in the mind, an idea, intangible. And maybe he put it on paper and said, I think I can. Of course, hardship had to come in, a lot of trials and so many disappointments. But at last, that very intangible idea comes to physical reality. So where there is no imagination, there is no creation. I think maybe even God, before I created this world, he first imagined if there could be something beautiful like this. And he said, yeah, I can do this. For whatsoever we have in our lives, if you can't imagine it, you cannot get it. It all comes first with imagination. Without imagination, the infinite intelligence is sleeping, and therefore you are not growing, So if one gives the chance and indeed believes in the sense of imagination, which sense very many of us are not aware of, but in case one gets to be aware of this sense and how powerful and useful it is, surely, followed by the necessary steps required to transform the imagination into reality, leave alone what other factors, what you might need and all that. If you first imagine, you put it on paper, then you go to other steps. Now, how can I do this? You look for the people who can help to achieve that. So it's a process, but the first thing is getting it, conceiving it, and seeing it in the mind. If you can see it in the mind, then you can believe it in reality. Yeah, that's why I talk about imagination. Yeah.
Seeing is believing. If we can picture it in our minds, then we can do anything. Imagination is so important. So then, if imagination is so important, why is it? Go ahead.
Excuse me. I'm not saying seeing is believing. Mine is believing is seeing.
Believing
if you
is seeing.
Imagine it, you believe it, then you can see it, because this is eyesight. You first use mind sight. After using mind sight, then eyesight can work. I don't go with that old proverb of seeing is believing. No. Mine is believe it so you can see it by creating it. Yep.
I like it. Believing is seeing.
Sorry,
Nice.
can I just come in on here?
Of course.
I love what Dave has said, that without imagination, there really is no creation. And I've really been thinking, and this has just been popping up in my head this past week. Nelson Mandela once said that it always seems impossible until it's done. And for me, that is exactly what just sums it up, that because there's always set criteria for things, or we put in the factors of, oh, but I don't have the money, or but I don't have the networks, I don't have the connections. But once you have that sight, once you have that that imagination, that idea, then you just walk the road to that. And for me, that's really what imagination is.
Good.
Hi, can I chime in a little bit on that?
Great.
So, of course, imagination for me, it's radical freedom, it's creativity, it's a revolution. It's time for change, because what if it's not now? When is it going to be? If it's not us, who is it going to be? It's that opportunity for us to come together, bring that aspect of your gift, your most positive attribute, put it into the world, and try to create and reimagine this positive world full of positive outcomes. There's love, there's happiness, there's kindness, there's equality. end SARS, fight for the farmers in the Punjabi land, just take action against everything that's inactive, and also be a part of a community that can develop education globally and help everybody who needs help, and be helped yourself, but keep smiling and being positive in the process. That's imagination.
Nice. I like all those responses. Thanks for correcting me on that, Dave. The believing is seeing. Make sure we get that the right way around. I do have another question for you guys. If imagination is so important in every aspect of our lives, then why is it only encouraged in our earlier development stages? Why isn't it encouraged throughout our entire existence? You know, you get to that certain age and imagination doesn't seem as important anymore, but it really is. So how can we encourage that through all the aspects rather than just at primary school or even earlier developmental stages?
Oh, thank you. Now, the greatest problem we have in the world and in life is that the systems are already dictated. I'm a teacher. I teach primary children from 0 years to 13 years. The syllabus is set, the curriculum is set. You don't have to bring in your creativity. Moreover, they will tell you, can you teach some practicals? Involve practicals in teaching, but the exam doesn't provide that provision. There's no that provision for sitting for practicals. The system is set that even if you want to bring in reality, you say, here I want to show you how these things work. At the end of the day, you are not going to be evaluated through that way, and you lose your income, you lose your job. So God in the beginning gave us creation. He told us you are supposed to be like this, to be like this, to be like this. But sorry enough that the systems are dedicated and the system does not allow creativity. That's why those who are good at talents don't go through the systems. Those who are good at creating are not educationists. They are school dropouts. They go and discover themselves elsewhere. So what limits creativity, imagination, are the systems, the people who invented this, maybe I say, inappropriate education brought. And now it's time to say, no, something better is needed. I think this is now a reason why this university is set up. Something better can be done, overcome the challenges.
Thanks for that, Dave. Teresia, what do you take on that? How are we able to change the system if that's what's stopping us from exploring our imagination?
I think what you said that resonates truly to me is imagination in children. I'm watching my 4 and 7-year-old develop, and I can see massive creativity. And if we can continue to grow these young brains, kind of take a childlike brain, almost like a beginner's mindset, but now that we're resetting the world from 2020 to 2021, why don't we all become children all over again and start being creative, expand our capabilities, expand our regions? Children don't have boundaries. They don't know color. They don't know black from white. They're very united. They just see everything in such glory and purity. So how about we undertake that childlike mind, that beginner's mindset in our own children, and continue to, let's start fresh. Let's all be kids from 2021 and be innocent in our approach and take this world in a better angle. That's what I'd love to see.
I like that, the innocence in that approach. You know, seeing the perspective from a child's point of view. Nyaza, I've got a question for you. If it's so important to reimagine the education system, why instead of reimagining it, can we just go back to the roots of being a child and just imagine from their perspective rather than reimagining what's happening? Can we start afresh, start over without having any sort of background?
Well, I think yes and no, because I think part of transformation and part of change is about acknowledging what has been, what is there, where it all began, and how it's moving. And then therefore, and of course, okay, I love what Teresia said, that this is about radical freedom. So therefore, you allow your mind to just grab onto anything, no matter how seemingly impossible or wild or huge or crazy as it may seem. But we also then look at what it's been and how it's been moving. And because we for me personally, I understand that the systems of society, as Dave also put it out, are also quite rigid. And at times, challenging that may actually push you out more. There may be a whole lot more resistance. So I am about crazy imagination. And I'm also about how then do we transform the small bits along the way to the vision. So yeah, I think it's we can do it with a bit of both.
All right, thank you so much for your input, guys. I'm going to give you a quick 30 seconds while I'm talking to close out this. Think of 6 words that you can impart onto our audience, 6 precious words of wisdom that you would like to share with them. We're going to move on to our next section in just a second. I'm going to hand it to Dave first to give us our 6 words. What are 6 words you'd like to impart on someone?
Number 1, God gave it all. You are the one of the kind. There shall never be any other person like you except you. Once you are here on the planet Earth, do all you can do with what you have from where you are, because you will go and leave nothing here which is useful to you. Negativity there, overcome it. Environment shall not allow you. Please put out ways how you can convince environment and they allow you. Put all the ways that you can overcome all that is stopping you from reaching the other end. If you imagine it, of course, you know, reaching that creation happens when you have overcome very many things. Put out ways how you can overcome that, and life will be beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Teresa, you're next.
Okay, my 6 words: gratitude, kindness, love, unity, hope, community. That's all.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us. And Niato, your last 6 words, please.
I'd like to say the deepest part of you is absolutely needed in this world.
I think that's 10
More
words.
than, yeah.
But the advice is still lovely. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to pass it on to Brendo for the next panel. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Our disrespect of the natural world is causing the planet to warm up. Now, until recently, the ocean was trapping a lot of that heat, but now it's killing the ocean and sea levels are rising because the ice is melting. We can reverse it though. Small changes can make a huge difference. Who is your energy supplier? Do you know what their policy is? Follow the money. Does your bank or retirement fund invest in fossil fuels? If so, change it. Ethical investment is a great first step. Now, who's having pasta? Oh, looks yummy.
G'day, gang. Welcome back. Lionel Corn has always got a little bit of wisdom. He's a funny dude, but also quite influential in his own little realm. So here we are. We've got panel 3. We've got Francine. We've got our young superstar Sagnik, and I hope that I've pronounced that right, brother. And then we've got Christiana all the way from Greece. So here we have India. We've got Melbourne, Australia, and we've got Greece rocking it out to bring imagination to change the world through Imagination University in 2021. So just a little brief, for those watching, we've refined what we're able to do at AIM. We've kind of consolidated 6 areas of expertise and invited everyone under the categories of student, uni student, teacher, executive, and general citizen to come learn, connect through these eclectic, unlikely alliances from 20 different countries and reimagine how we can do not only education, but systems, economy, and build a fairer world. So tell us a story, young fella. I'm inspired by you. I met you the other day. You're over in India dreaming of new narratives. You're an actor at heart. You're a director. You might be something around 15 years old. You've grown up in relative hardship in India. Tell us a story, mate.
Right. So, hello everyone. I'm Shagnik and I'm 16 years old. Right now, I'm a student in grade 11, and I'm also an entrepreneur. I just started out like a few months ago. And like Brennan said, yes, I did grow up with a lot of hardships. Um, to sum up my life, like you need to know the past of um, like almost 26 years. I'm 16, but then you need to know the history of the past 26 years. So, like, I've been through a lot of troubles related to trauma and, hatred, conspiracies, and everything. These things are pretty common in India. If you ever see any Indian talking about these things, it's very, very genuine. So yes, when I was a kid, I've always wanted to be an actor because that was my dream. My grandpa, who was actually my mom's dad, he was a theater artist. He was also a director. So he was the first person who inspired me a lot to pursue acting. I used to spend days, in front of the mirror, acting out as different characters, and it was pretty fun. The people who used to visit were like, um, this guy actually this guy maybe he needs some kind of treatment because he's not normal. But um, yeah, I had to deal with that. And later on, what happened was I had to accept the few changes that came about in my life in the entertainment industry. And there was a point of time when I actually like stopped dreaming. Um, and I regret doing that. Yes, I do regret doing that thing. Because you like there are so many options in life, like um, if you have a guide, you'll see that the guide will maybe show you six paths in life, but you have to choose the one path that you want to walk through, right? Nobody can do that for you. You have to choose your own path. You have to walk through it. Yes, there can be detours, but every detour, leads you to learn something new. So there's never an end. There's never um, a mistake. You get to learn from every single thing that you do in life. And I've been doing that since the past 16 years. I've been learning and I've been trying to get to the best version of myself because, maybe becoming perfect is not possible. Becoming a perfectionist is not possible because if we do that, if we actually become like perfect, maybe we all would be like clones of each other. So getting to the best version of oneself is possible, and that's what I strive to do in my day-to-day life.
That's cool, brother. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm going to merge a couple of the other crazy and inspiring minds on the panel with you. You have inspired me, mate, and 2021's a big year for you in jumping into Imagination University as a student ambassador, rocking out a project for change that's going to really capture that what people called you as maybe being strange, that incredible gift. Can't wait to fan the flame with that, brother, and see you and do some incredible things to change your community and all that you envision. And we've spoken about that. So I'm going to throw to who we've dubbed our Greek goddess. She has got ideas and energy of a 15-year-old, and she's really going for it over in Greece. Got a vision. Tell us about your vision, Christiana.
Hello, I'm from faraway Greece. My vision is all about transforming not only a community, but a mountain. I would like to engage in changing the entire region in order to work in and for nature. My vision has to do with the fact that we need to regenerate the planet, take care of it, and change the business models that we are doing right now, important to change the way we do business into renewable raw materials. Now we just take away from Earth, never giving it back. That's wrong. And we should all be in that. We should not really focus on who's privileged and who's not privileged. Earth is for all of us. It is not only for the chosen few. And I think what my dream is all about is permitting people to dare to act. Those two words are very powerful. To just have a vision is okay, but you have to follow it with action.
Yeah,
So
I agree with you, Christiana. Dare to act. You're a wonderful human being. You've encouraged me the last 4 months to dare to act. And someone else who's definitely daring to act, Francine, you've jumped on from Melbourne. You're an education consultant. You're an artist, and you want to change the world. Tell us your piece in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I really resonated with what you said, Christiana. I think that whole concept of daring to act and raising a world of people who are engaged in their worlds and for the right reasons. And I think that starts, from my teacher point of view, that starts at school. And I don't think that schools do enough to encourage students to be really connected to, first of all, who they are, and then also to extend that to being connected to the world around them and finding ways to explore their passions and their interests that really harvest change across the world. Because when we raise young people to be engaged and to be passionate and to tap into their curiosities and creativity and what they care about, then the world will be a completely different place. So I'm really passionate about working with young people, and I'm passionate about teaching them how to know who they are and what they stand for, and giving them platforms to be able to do that and to share that with the world, and to really harvest that idea that young voices are hugely important. And so, Nick, is that how I say your name? Sorry, I'm really inspired by your story as well. And it's so lovely to see a young face. And you're the kind of young people like you are our future. And that's what I'm invested in changing.
Beautiful, Francine. I love your energy and your creative approach, and can't wait to do some stuff in Imagination University with you in our teachers stream. We're encouraging teachers to teach with imagination so that we can break down the walls and kind of reimagine the space in classrooms, and so that no one is in the margins anymore. So we can do that together. What's your opinions on that, Sagnik? What can we do in education as a 16-year-old rummaging through your high school experience in India?
Right. So, from the students' perspective, students' point of view, what I have experienced as a student is that the teaching system here in India, it's like really, really rigid. It's like you have a syllabus and you have to kind of like stick to that, because if you kind of move away from it, or if you try to show your own creativity, what happens is that the teachers deduct marks, and it ends up with you not getting a good result. And if you don't get a good result, there are direct attacks from the society, and then you don't get a position at a good college. That is what has been happening in the Indian society for so long. And first thing, that is what needs to change. Education is not something which has to be this rigid. First thing, what we have made education so far is that it's all about boning up different subjects, but it's not. If you want to educate yourself, if you want to learn, you can learn from anywhere. Even in our day-to-day lives, our workers inspire us. Even little ants inspire us. You can learn from anywhere. So that is the mindset which needs to be there in the education system to actually, make this more accessible.
That's epic, mate. We might even We might even get you rocking out as a professor at the university in the next couple of years. I love your ideas. Christiana, look, from your experience, your knowledge, I love the way you see the world as something that is almost accessible if we dare to act. How can we bring those ideas that have come from Francine and Sagnik into reality? What's your thoughts?
Well, we need to make a commitment. We need to have passion. We need to have developed dexterities. And then we need to focus. If we do all this and we take a big breath, deep breath, and determination, observe nature, be inspired by nature, then reach out and simply do it.
Yeah, well, let's
do not.
No, you go. Sorry to cut you off.
It's okay. The important part is to dare to do it.
Beautiful. We've dared to do a few things. For example, establishing a uni in 3 months, and thankfully we've had over 1,000 applications, which is fantastic. Let's go on a journey in 2021, guys, with Imagination University. Let's reimagine. Let's dare to do. Let's see what we can do. Maybe we can shift some of that wealth that's in 1% of the world's hands. That it's 50% of the wealth in the world, and maybe we can reimagine education. Maybe we can reimagine classrooms. Maybe we can show Mount Honest as a pure example of what regeneration and sustainable business looks like. So we're on your team. Let's do it together. Hey, just real quick for 20 seconds each, what do you want to do at Imagination University in 2021? Off you go.
I would like to inspire young souls to look at the planet and make the commitment of stewarding it.
Thank you, Christiana. You're an inspiration to us. I can't wait to chat to you and work with you over the next 12 months. Sagnik, go for it.
Right. So I want to work with a lot of people and actually make sure that arts is not excluded anymore. It's given the respect that it deserves.
Gorgeous, mate. And let me encourage you from the Imagination University world. We completely believe in you. All your eccentricities, all your uniqueness is completely celebrated. It's an absolute superpower, and we want to see you fly in 2021. So looking forward to the year together. Francine.
I'm really excited about collaborating with people like all of those on the panel today. I'm already feeling this little buzz of excitement, and I'm just really excited to get together with like-minded people who are committed and passionate about making some groundbreaking change. Yeah, I'm really super excited to be involved.
All right, we might close out this segment. If you want to give us from the Greek goddess herself, if you want to give us an inspirational quote that dare to something, off you go.
Dare to imagine and dare to absolutely persist.
Thanks, guys. Over to Maddie for the next segment after this video.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just
me, please. But he winds up knocking me back down my knees. There's been times that I wouldn't last for long, but now I think I'm able to have you. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gon' come. Oh, yes, it will.
Now, the change isn't going to come anymore. The change is happening right here, right now, on this live TV show. We've got 3 more panelists coming up. We've got Modu, Tishwala, and Samuel jumping on. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to say hi, where you're from, and then we're going to get into some questions about imagination. So we'll start with you, Modu. Where are you from?
Thank you. Good morning.
Good
Glad to be here. I am Modu from the Gambia and from the University of the Gambia, of course. Thank you.
Thank you. Tishwala, where are you from? Tishwala on? No. Samuel, you here?
Yes, I am. Hello, everyone.
Hi,
Can you
Samuel. How
hear
are you
me?
going? We can. Where are
I'm
you from?
good. Yeah, I'm from Nigeria.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you for jumping on today.
yeah. Thank you so much for having me too. I'm so inspired with everything a lot of people have said on this platform. It's really, really inspiring. And I believe that Imagination TV is going to do a lot of things for students, for citizens, for youth in Nigeria.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So we're talking about Imagination University. This question goes out to both of you. I want to know how do you incorporate imagination into your everyday life? We'll start with you, Modu. Or Samuel, you go ahead.
All right. Imagination has been everything that have helped so far so good. Because it gives what imagination does for me, from my point of view, is it gives the opportunity or the chance to explore the vast potentials that we have inside of us. A lot of us are embedded with a lot of potentials, a lot of ideas, a lot of things that we can do. But over time, societal beliefs, cultural beliefs, parental beliefs has hindered us from using this imagination to the fullest. So using it on a daily basis, trying to bring out what we have inside of us has been so inspiring. Imagine in Nigeria as a whole, there are some part of the country that a lot of beliefs has hindered people from doing what they know how to do best, from doing what they have inside of them, cultural beliefs, religious beliefs. I, for once, I stayed in the west part of Nigeria. I had to move to the northern part, the northeast of Nigeria, because I could see that there's a big gap between the exposure, the things that is going on in the western area, in the western part of Nigeria, compared to what is going on in the northern part. So there's a big gap. Now, we are trying to see how we can bridge the gap between the west, between the north, between the south, and let people from the northeast also have exposure, have a lot of information that people from the western part are getting, are using for themselves. And it has been great so far, so good.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Modu, what's your thought? How do you use imagination in your everyday life?
Thank you. Just like Samuel mentioned, but on a different approach a little bit. Okay, so I use imagination in a wider spectrum perspective. Let's say imagination give you the will and the freedom to explore beyond boundaries. I mean, it's just so beautiful when you can just explore without being bound to certain conditions, without being bound and restricted to certain places. I mean, you being told that, look, this is where you're supposed to stop. This is what you're supposed to think about. This is what you're supposed to do. But an imagination gives you that wider view of trying to imagine what a world can be. For example, we're saying we try to imagine what the next generation of women and girls would be if all of them get access to quality and affordable education for all. I mean, that is one thing that everybody is looking up to, I would say. So imaginations give us that ability to think beyond boundaries, to explore things that we are unable to touch with our hands, unable to see nakedly with our eyes, and a lot of things like that. And of course, I use this in my everyday life. And I must say, the best time that I sit to imagine a lot of things happening is when it's time for bed. So instead of going to sleep, I'll be on bed and try to imagine a lot of things. And of course, trying to put all of those into reality helps a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. I think us wanting to change the world and change our future is keeping us all up at night, especially with what's been happening this last year. This is the year where we all kind of woke up to our senses and went, hang on a second, something really does need to change. Let's make it happen. Let's do it right now. Brendan, you've been a part of the AIM team for so long. I'm going to pass this question over to you. How are you using this idea of imagination in your everyday life right here at AIM?
I think someone said it earlier. It's radical freedom. That's what imagination is, and it's gorgeous because I've been around the AIM spaces for 7 years, and I've never felt better in this space because we've got to a place where we have radical freedom to imagine a new world, and that's a bold statement, but it's completely personally liberating. And when you speak to Samuel and Modu, kind of feel like this call is a little bit like our pre-bed imagination ceremony where we're just about to knock off to bed and I'm chatting to some imaginary friends, but you're actually real. So it's been an absolute delight, radical freedom. Let's do this, and I feel good about it. Feel good about connecting with people that we've never met before and dream of a new world together.
Thank you so much for that. So back to our other two panelists. My next question is for you is, what's your project for change going to be? Do you have multiple ideas for project for change? Do you have one that you're going to stick with and get people involved with? What's your go-to project first? What's the one you want to achieve first?
Can I come in first, Samuel, if you don't mind? Well, okay, I have like multiple projects. If you ask me, I will tell you I have a million or more than that projects that in my head, of course, that I would like to change. That I know if I started, a lot of things are going to change, especially not just in the Gambia, but in the sub-region. We're talking about Sierra Leone, Nigeria, Ghana, Monrovia, Tanzania. All of these sub-regions within Africa. Now, one of them, of course, I am very, very passionate about women and girls education, especially girls education for development, because I believe that's where everything starts. Now, there has been a lot of advocacy done. There has been a lot of conferences, a lot of meetings, a lot of money being spent, workshops here and there. But then are we really seeing the change that we really want in Africa when it comes to girls accessing quality education? Not just education, I'll say, but quality education. That is one thing. That is one project that I want to initiate to make sure that we push government officials, policy makers, decision makers to take it to their parliamentary levels to make sure that there is quality education affordable to women and girls. Two is the eradication of FGM in all sectors in the whole of the sub-region. This is just another thing I am passionate about. Currently, I'm running a radio program funded by the UNDP, but I still think it's not enough. But a million project, but I'll just let someone go. The time is just running out. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Modu. Thank you. You really inspired me with that statement. And I would like to say this before I move on. I said, there's one quote that has been driving me over the years. It says, if each one can reach one and teach one, what a better place the world will be. And that is what has inspired me to come up with a project under my outfit, Pilsen Academy. Like I said in my statement the other time, I said I had to leave the West, where a lot of things are happening, to come to the Northeast, the northeastern part of Nigeria, where a lot of kids are being deprived of quality education. They are not going to school. Some of them that are going to school, they are not being well taught. So we are coming up with a project, and the project is kind of similar to AIM. That's the funny part of it. The project is Project AIM. And what does the AIM stand for? It says adopt, inject, and mentor. So we want to adopt some kids, inject them back into school, and mentor them. So over time, I've discovered that a lot of organizations have tried to bring up a solution to like get up the kids, pay their school fees, send them to school, but they failed to mentor them. So the icing on our project is the mentorship. And that is where Imagination University is going to be on top of it for us, because we are going to adopt these kids. We can start as less as 10, 20. We cannot reach everybody at once, but the little we start, we're saying that if you adopt like 10 students that are not going to school, maybe they are orphans, they are being affected by insurgency, a lot of things affected them. We adopt them, we inject them back into school by paying their fees or try to raise funds to see how they can be able to attend normal classes. Then we have a segment for them where we're going to mentor them. So what are we seeing is we want to see that those people we are mentoring, by the time they go back into the conventional school, their classrooms, their school, they'll be able to impact other fellows in their school with what they are gaining from us, with what they are learning from us. So imagine I pick 2 students, we are mentoring them, taking them through the aspect of using their imagination to think about a lot of things. By the time they get to school, they go to their clique, to their friends, and tell them, oh, I learned this today from this group. I learned this today. We can do this, we can do that. So that's the project that I'm working on, that we're going to initiate by 2020, God's grace. And we also do virtual mentoring because we cannot reach everybody. So we're also looking at a way we can also reach out to people virtually from everywhere they have. We try to use social media to communicate with them. Take them through a 1-hour section every day or twice in a week on what they can do to inspire them, what we can do to inspire them, how they can set their goals, how they can be able to do things around them with what they have inside of them. So that's what we are working on for next year. That's Project AIM. It's kind of having the same name as AIM, but it's Project AIM for us. Thank you.
Beautiful. That's so inspiring to hear from the two of you. I'm just awestruck. Like the panelists today have been amazing. It's been so incredible to talk to you both. Brendan, I'm going to hand it over to you for just a minute and a half. What's your personal change project for next year while you're at home?
Yeah, like I'm inspired. I'm completely inspired. Let's do it, gang. Like Modu, Samuel, all the other panelists. Let's just get it done. Christiana, like you said, like dare to do it and like dare to act. I'm excited about what you guys are doing. What's my project? Yeah, so I've had obsessive compulsive disorder. That's a kind of a strange illness, but it affects actually 1 in 100 people, and that's only the ones that have recorded. So it's a very debilitating anxiety disorder, which sort of disallows your mind to function with any level of peace when you've got these regular daily compulsive thought trains. And it's been a really, really hard time for me personally running through that, but it's a wonderful story because it's allowed me to actually look within, stop my life, and figure some stuff out with the help of professionals and different study and practicing over 15 years, some different techniques mentally. So I'm now at a point where I'm really happy and living my life really well. I can't believe it, actually. It feels like a dream that I've got this level of peace and interactivity. So I'm going to write a book about some of those experiences so that hopefully people can find courage in their own mental trauma with OCD or other mental disorders.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, quickly back to our panelists. I want one quote, one thing that you've lived by, or one thing you would like to share with everyone watching. what's something that's imaginative, inspiring to you, or you would like to impart on others? We'll start with you, Madhu.
Thank you. I just wanted to say this quickly before you move to Samuel. Currently, I am serving as, the new Gender and Health Minister for the University of the Gambia Student Union. It is amazingly beautiful because I got to implement projects that I wanted to implement in my head. Now I can put it into reality. So this I am giving out to everybody present here. Let's, as Samuel mentioned earlier, somebody did, Christian, let's dare to do this. I think that's just one code that everybody loves so much that we have to take the first step to do it, especially to women and girls. I think that's where everything starts. But I'll say thank you. It was glad to be here.
All right. Thank you so much, Madhu. For me, I would say that believe in yourself. No matter what you have gone through, no matter what challenges you might have faced in life, never stop believing in yourself. Imagine, believe in yourself, have kindness, never give up, and show love to others. Because that has been what has kept me. A lot of challenges I've gone through, a lot of things I'm facing right now. But I kept believing that if I can see it and conceive it and believe it, then I can do it. So that's it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, all the panelists for jumping on board today. You've absolutely inspired me and everyone else on board. My last thing to leave everyone with is be the change you want to see in the world and bring the magic. Thank you all very much. Let's roll the credits.